There is an endless sea of podcasts about entrepreneurship. Talking about it, but not living it. We live it every day. This is Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle, talking about real estate investing, but also encompassing general subjects in regards to owning small to medium-sized businesses. And of course, all the struggles that business owners must overcome to be successful. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. And this is Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle.
Welcome back to Inside the Wolf's Den with your hosts, Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle. How are you, Shawn?
Doing great. How's your week going?
It's going awesome.
Yeah. It's December. Busy time of year.
It is.
Yeah,
so we're
Christmas parties, holiday parties, everything.
And finishing off the year strong.
Yes.
That's
and
what I always tell our team.
That's kind of what led up to this podcast today.
Yeah. So we had a series going earlier in the year called Connected Inside the Wolf's Den. And so this time around, we decided to do the Wolf's Power Play. So these, you like that?
A little
Wolf's
cheesy.
Power Play.
But yeah. But no, I think it's good.
Yeah, no, so these are intended, short little episodes are intended to really motivate you, inspire you, really help you get through the day or week or month. You know, I know at times that we all can have a little kick in the butt sometimes, and motivation inspires to get us through. So,
yeah. So can we howl too to start the? All right. So no, I mean, like Joni said, these are just quick. These are going to be quick podcasts just to give you some motivation and just to help you push through the week. So this particular topic was committed and resilient. And, I think what brought us to talking about this today was recently we've been on a bunch of like trips with either friends or, social events. And then we've been at a lot of business events and stuff like that. And one thing that always like after an event or, if it's on a Sunday or something like that, and they're like, I'm going to call in tomorrow and all this. And they're like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're going to be at work tomorrow morning at 8:00. And it reminds me, and they're always like, why? Like, what do you mean? You can do whatever you want. You got, and I think that's really, it reminds me constantly of, what's gotten us to where we are today is because week in and week out and, no matter how we feel, no matter if we're sick, no matter if you have tore your ACL, no matter what, we show up day in and day out.
Yeah, and it started at the very beginning when we, like you said, even if we didn't feel like it, we'd still get up and show up in the office. I mean, at the time, our office was in our garage, right? So it was easy to just, can I just wake up later and, walk around in my pajamas? No, I would get up in the morning, shower up, dress like I was going into the office, even though I was walking into my garage.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just when you start at the beginning doing that and treating that like it's your job, and being consistent with it, then, eventually it's just becomes natural.
I mean, most people, if they have a job, you're required to show up at a certain time, you're going to show up because you're not going to want to get fired. So why, just because you're in business for yourself or self-employed, why would you not show up, and be that committed just like you were for your job? So,
right.
And it was much harder, I think, when we worked from out of our house. That was probably more difficult because you could just, slack off and just, roll out of bed, like you said, late or go have lunch or snack, and here at the office, you're much more committed. So I think that's why we've always enjoyed coming to an office because we're locked in, we're focused, and not a distraction like we have at home. But.
So how do you stay, committed and, because I think it's a struggle that a lot of people struggle with. They're afraid to fail, and so they don't commit to it. But yeah, I mean, I think for me personally, I mean, it's a mindset. You have to get your mind straight. Mm-hmm. So like when I was doing the fitness competition, right, I didn't sign up for it unless I knew that I was going to go all in. Mm-hmm. So you have to be that dedicated, that committed to going all in and committing to yourself.
And your why, I think it goes back a lot of times to your why. Why are you doing this? What are you trying to accomplish? Why do you want to accomplish this? Why do you want to be successful in your business? And, and it's got to be so strong and so, it's got to be just a burning fire in there, or else, because you can have a million excuses. Like,
right.
A good example was, at the time when you tore your ACL, we were doing a lot of door knocking. And I mean, you could easily make an excuse like, hey, I tore my ACL, I have crutches, this big old brace. I cannot get in and out of a car and go knock on doors, but we consistently still, knock on 100 and some doors a week.
Probably bought more houses.
I really just felt sorry for you. But I mean, like stuff like that, you can make excuses for it.
You can.
But you got to know why. And like you said, you got to be committed at the beginning and committed to showing up. And so like, I think for ourselves, like, going back many years ago, I think for us personally, we use the negativity, I think, to drive us, and eventually that's got to change, but it can be a very strong driver is running away from something. So, for myself, it was this insecurity, being bullied, just lack of confidence. And I found a vehicle where I could be successful, and I could be successful in business, and I could by outworking everybody.
Right.
And so to me, for many years, I would show up day in and day out just because I wanted to
prove
something.
Yeah.
Nobody that was watching out there, but I was proving
to
something
yourself.
to the world. Yeah. And so, and eventually that changed over time, and I had to get a new why and all that. But that's what drove me. And I think, for yourself, it was like, hey, you wanted to not repeat the same circumstances you had growing up, and you wanted to change your, not have your same family.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes that my father and my brother had made. So I was going to, stop that cycle. And so I wanted to prove to, again, I don't know who I was proving to, like you, but it came down to proof as well.
Yeah, and it was a strong driver for many years for us.
Right.
And that would help drive us to do it. And then I think it's evolved. Now we're trying to make contribution and to others, and we want impact in the world, and we want impact on our family and our kids. And so there's other drivers that still push us. Now we're running more towards something rather than away from something.
Yeah.
But those are strong reasons why.
Right. And so that's a great takeaway there. So, what is your why? And you should be asking your question, how bad do you really want it? Right?
It's just like anything in life, and it's no different in this circumstances, because it's got to be so, you got to just want it above almost everything else, or else you're not going to be. I don't think you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But and for us, it's always been that driver, and we've always, and right now we have goals, we have things that we want to achieve personally and also businessly, and so we're just driving hard, and so that's why, we'll show up. Whether we don't have to show up at all, technically. I mean, the business can run on its own. We could be gone for months at a time and everything would be fine, but we're driving, we're guiding this ship to where we want it to be. We see the potential. We want to help our staff and our clients, and so we're pushing hard to. And so that's why we're still a passion after 21 years.
And that's the culture that we created in our organization. I mean, you see like the passion and drive when you come to the office, right? Like when COVID hit us, I mean, it didn't, most people, were depressed, and like our team was like ready to like pound the streets. Like, let's get up, let's do what we have to do. And that's the culture that we've created here, just because they see our drive, they see our passion, it's contagious. Yeah.
And something that reminded me of that was, it was about a couple months ago. Lucas, our son, he's doing a basketball. He has a coach or somebody that's helping him on the side.
Private coach.
Private coach. And something that he constantly asks Lucas is, hey, are you a person that likes to play basketball, or are you a basketball player? Because there's a big distinction between the two. Because I mean, I like to play basketball. I think he enjoys playing basketball, but is he a basketball player? Because a basketball player is committed. When nobody's looking, they're practicing. When nobody's looking, they're putting their time in the gym.
Yeah.
When nobody's looking, they're out there running sprints, and it's not just showing up to basketball games or practice. It's showing up, every day, just wanting it, right? Or
perfecting your skill.
Yeah. Getting up in the morning and just working on dribbling, working on your shot, working on your free throws. And so there's a big difference between somebody that likes to play basketball, because there's a ton of kids that like to play basketball, and then there's very few that are basketball players.
Right.
And they stand out and at a very young age, and you can see it in different sports. But I think business and is no different. So you either are a business owner or you're not, and,
Yeah.
and there's a big distinction. It's the same principles, but
Right.
it reminded me of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Something else I wanted to just hit on while we're on this topic is, and we've talked about this, I think we went into a little bit in episode 65 on consistency and discipline, is just the compound. And I think Darren Hardy has a book, The Compound Effect or something like that, but about compounding your consistent effort. Because I think that more than anything, and we talked about this the other day, yes, we show up every day and we show up, and sometimes like I think people quit too early because they're showing up and things just aren't happening, or they're showing up and it's not they're not where they need to be. And everybody's got to understand, and this is like a passion of mine, because like people always see the end product, and it's like, yeah, we've been at this for 21 years. Yeah. I've been showing up for 21 years, day in and day out. You know, I work when I'm on vacation, you know, sometimes, or
you work when you're sick.
We'll be in,
you know?
And we're crazy. We'll be in like Disneyland line, and we're still answering emails, or we're, you know, it's just like, and that's not for everybody.
Exactly. It's not for everybody.
But that's what we're constantly involved and engaged, and I get there's got to be some balance sometimes, and I understand all that, and there's a whole nother side to that, but it's just compounded over years and years and years before. And trust me, I thought I'd be retired by now and done, and maybe we could retire now, but I'm not ready to stop, you know. And so that's something you got to compound it over and over, and it takes time, and it takes time to get
consistency,
there. And consistency. So compound your efforts, don't give up too early, and stay committed. So that's my end of my message today. So,
well, hope you enjoyed this short little episode inside the Wolf's Den. Again, we're going to be doing these here and there over the course of our, as we invite special guests, and but hope this inspires and motivates you.
Yeah. So push through your week, and we'll see you all next week.
Take care, guys.
You've been listening to Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle. Tons of entrepreneurial podcasts are out there. Talking. But Joni and Shawn are living it every single day. Their portfolio now includes many franchises and medium-sized businesses. We talk about the trials and motivators of successfully running a business. Join us again soon for another podcast. But until then, reach out on the website at InsideTheWolfsDen.com, on Facebook at Inside the Wolf's Den, on Instagram at Inside the Wolf Den. We'll see you again soon. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. We'll see you next time.